Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I am sorry. I have been gone for a while. Maybe a month, almost 2 months, I think. Man, I'm sorry. Life is rough. Not in a bad way. You know, I got a little baby boy now. He's 2 months. He's great. He's taking up a lot of my time with that and work. So it's hard to crank out these podcasts. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's just rough. When he gets a little older, it'd be a little bit better for me to do these. And it's hard to sneak away to do a podcast. I tried it once a couple weeks ago, and I kept hearing them in the background. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to crank it out once every week. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'll be back next week because I can't promise it, but I would try. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. All right. My name is Antonio Cute Tomasello, aka Chocolate Heat, and I give you a slice here. Oh Jesus Christ! Here to give you a slice of chocolate cake. Man, I gotta get back into the swing of things. And today I thought I'd try a little bit something different, I guess, than the most of the podcasts that I did. I thought I'd just try to talk about my experience at a certain job, and just that job in general and the impact it has. Just because it pertains to me a lot, and why I enjoyed it and hated it and despised it. And this came about because the whole Toys R Us thing is pretty big news. All the stores, at least allegedly, it's not full yet. If you got to read the underline and all the articles. None of them say, and maybe one I saw said they're closing for sure, but it's a high probability they'll close. They're looking for a buyer, but I'll try to get into that a little bit too. But that pretty much brought this about. So what this is my time at GameStop. Now, if anyone ever knows me, or if you know me or don't know me, and what I like to do, I love video games. I did a podcast on video games, how much they mean to me, and all that. I have a big passion for them. I collect them. I try to play them almost every day. Now with the baby, it's a little harder, but I try to play them every day. I love video games. It's big for me. So, it was only inevitable, or at least me trying to get a job at GameStop was going to happen. I mean, years and years ago when I was very young, I tried to get a job at GameStop, because who wouldn't want a job at GameStop if you love games? I mean, come on. Every gaming nerd that comes in there is always like, you got a job, you got a job opening, you got a job. So, I tried my best to get a job there. So, I think it was, when I was 22, 23, my buddy who worked at the GameStop at the time was asking me if I needed a job, and I was like, not really, I got a job here. And he was saying, hey, you can, if you want to, you can work both jobs. We need an extra person. I can put in a good word for you. I know you love games. We were good friends. We play games all the time. So I was like, let me hook me up with the job. I'll come by there and see what's what. I always wanted to work for GameStop. Didn't want to have two jobs, but I just love games so much. I wanted to be around. And I was like, hey, why not make the extra amount of money? So obviously I got the job. I'm super dope fresh. Come on. I mean, they interviewed me. They saw that I was a smart guy. I was very knowledgeable in games, but I was like kind of, pretty serious. I came in a suit and all that stuff. I was pretty serious with a suitcase. It's a GameStop job, and I just want to be like, I'm here to stone these motherfuckers. So that's what happened. I got the job. Now, why this pertains and why I came up with the Toys R Us thing, if you understand, or if you ever shopped in a GameStop, I don't know if you've noticed, the company itself has moved drastically into different areas away from video games. If you look at the store now, it is mind-boggling, the amount of the store that's not video games. And it bothers me to this day. I mean, if it had to happen, it had to happen. But GameStop is supposed to be for games, so it kind of irks my ears a little bit when I go in there now and then there's other stuff there. So this pertains to it because this is when I started to hate the job, because of the company shift. I was there at a very pivotal moment in the company, is when they started transitioning really hard. They always sold a couple of different knickknacks, but they started transitioning really hard into other forms of entertainment and electronics and stuff like that. So when I got there, I want to let people know that GameStop is not a great job, period. GameStop is not a good job. Anyone who's worked there, they might say they maybe enjoyed a little bit of time to have there, but let me explain something to you. It is not a good job. It's not good pay. It's not good money. It's not good benefits. It's not good. It's just a really bad job, and it's a really bad company. When I started doing my research on it, it's a terrible job and a terrible company. The reason why I stayed there is because, of course, I love video games. That's the whole reason why anyone stays there. You know, I make more than a store manager at GameStop. You know, when I was working at my Wawa job, I made more than assistant store manager. So there has to be something to keep you there. So again, when I first started, I started getting to the swing of things, and I started working a little bit, and I genuinely enjoyed it because I enjoyed video games. I love talking to people. I love talking about games, and if you're paying me a little bit, I'm going to enjoy it what I can. So a few months into the job, I'm only getting, you know, a few hours, which is cool with me. You know, I'm working 2-3 days tops. I'm solid. I'm great. They start really rolling out these programs about, I think at the time it was iPods and stuff like that. GameStop had made a really big push for trade into your electronics, iPods and stuff like that, iPods and phones and stuff like that. The problem with this is that they initiated so hard and so fast. There was no pamphlet, there was no teaching on how to take trade-ins, how the trade-ins were shipped out. It was all just, hey guys, we rolled out something new. This is them talking to the store managers. We rolled out something new. We're going to take phones. Tell the employees to take phones. And that was literally how it was. There was a schmeal about, hey, if it looks bad, mark it bad. But it was implemented so terribly and so bad. The company lost so much money in such a short amount of time from stolen phones, broken phones, things that were taken in that shouldn't have been taken in, things that didn't work. It was so horribly bad. At one point they had to stop all the associates from taking trade-ins and only had managers take it in, which had more people waiting, more frustration. It was just a bad we dived too deep to really we just didn't understand it so much. I mean, it tested out okay, and it did okay, but we lost an absurd amount. I can't remember the figures that they were saying. We lost an absurd amount of money mostly from stolen phones. People would, you know, they couldn't trade it at the Apple store or the Verizon store because they'll find out it was stolen or something like that. So they come to us real quick and be like, hey, look, I'm trying to trade in this phone. You know, like, oh, we'll look at it. Well, it seems okay. We'll take the trade. We take the trade. It comes up stolen. We have to return it. We can't sell it, whatever. We just lost money. We lost, pure cash. This was an example of steps that were taken to really, the steps that are being taken actually right now that's causing the downfall of this company. And of course why I started disliking. So around the time I started taking phones taken in, and then, you know, I would have them come back to me and say, Tonio, you took you know, you shouldn't have took this phone, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you didn't tell me how to take the phone. You just said take the phone. Like, what do you want me to dive deep into the settings, triangulate the GPS and where this and all this stuff? Like, you guys didn't teach us that. It was this stuff accompanied with poor management, poor hours. This is why this company is just so fucking bad. This podcast should just be like, GameStop's a piece of shit, but I still shop there a little bit, so can't complain too much. But so around this time, we started taking on the phones, and then I started noticing it was a really big push in sales. Now, let me explain something to you. When you work at a job that is sales, you get commission. I can understand why the push is hard. It might be annoying, even at my job. Technically I'm a salesman of some sorts. I sell my product to the companies that I have, and I make money. So I understand my boss is like, hey, we're pushing big numbers this year, so, you know, we're pushing this new product out, we're doing this. I can understand that. GameStop does not pay you for commission, but they act like you pay by commission. You're literally told when you start the job, hey, if you do good, you know, we'll give you hours. And they don't really explain that. They don't really get into the details of that. Which means if you do well on your sales, if you sell this card, if you sell this subscription, if you get this pre-order, we will get you some hours. Let me tell this to you also. The hours are fucking shitty at GameStop. How many people do you ever see at GameStop? 2? That's pretty much the amount of people you see at GameStop. 2, 1 sometimes in the morning. The company is allowed a certain amount of hours, and it is pathetic per week. It's like 100 hours or something like that, and the store manager gets like 40, and the assistant store manager gets like 35 or something. It's like a fucking joke. So, at the time, it didn't hit me so hard because I didn't need the job so much. But as someone who needs a job or who relies on it, it is impossible to do anything with this job because they will literally guarantee you like 10 hours or something, 5 hours a week, 4 hours a week. Are you fucking shitting me? 4 hours a week? Who's gonna come in for 4 hours a week? You give me 4 hours a week, I'm just gonna fucking call out. It's like, I don't care, fucking 4 hours. What are 4 hours gonna do for me? And even when you sold enough stuff, they still, we'll give you a couple extra hours, let me get you 10 hours this week. The job is bad. And whoever's working at GameStop, I understand you like games. I cannot think of one person who ever work at GameStop who didn't like games and would stay there as an associate. That is I've never seen that once. It is possible for once because it's such a low paying job. So again, steps and steps and steps on why I just started this month. We changed managers. My manager got caught up in a big thing. It was a combination of just so much things, so many business mistakes that trickled downwards. The thing, shit rolls downhill. And the more I climbed up at least went up the ladder to see what was the problem, it's way beyond me. It's not the store manager, it's not the regional manager, it's like, it's a company run by people who don't know their product. And when you have a company run by people who don't know their product, how are you going to build a company? Who's going to tell the boss of the bosses that this is wrong? Who's going to tell that person? Nobody. He's just going to make something and he's going to deal with the mistakes. So maybe I think, I want to say I worked there for about 3 years. So maybe about a year, I started to get annoyed with the job. We kept rolling out this stuff. We kept rolling out things, and every 2 weeks something new will come out and they say push, push, push. And then back in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to push shit. Like, I'm going to ask them if they want it. And if they don't, they don't. I'm not go about my goddamn day. But the company itself wanted you to push hard, and I'll never forget the day we had a regional manager come in. I forgot what is her name? I can't remember her name. Fucking dumber than a goddamn bag of rocks. I hated her goddamn guts, the way she talked to people and the way she talked about the stores, because she knew not one goddamn thing. So in this instance, my store, I think the new system or something, Xbox One came out, and we had got like an absurd amount of them or something. It was just like our store was doing very well. It does, I think, really good in the district. We had got an absurd amount of them in the back, and we were literally told we have to sell all of them. Like, you have to get all of them out the store. You have to sell them all. You have to sell them all. We're not transferring any out. You have to sell them. You have to sell them. You have to sell them. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try to sell a $500 system to anyone. Again, that's a dumb marketing scheme. You can't offer something that's $500 on an impulse buy. Someone has to come in for that. Or maybe you can switch their mind for something that they're coming in and spend a lot of money on. But you have to understand the way your business works. If I have a snack store and I want to promote a snack or something like that, so I put that snack on the front counter because, it's impulse. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks good. Those those chips with those sprinkles on it. Wow, that looks interesting. Let me have a bag of that. It's $1.50. Great. Let me grab that. You cannot put a fucking $500 console on the counter and someone brings up a game and they're like, oh, look, a $500 Xbox One. I think I want that. It's not an impulse buy. So this day, the store regional manager comes in because he knows we have a lot of Xboxes. Excuse me. And she comes in, she looks around, and she just starts barking out orders. She's like, we have a lot of Xboxes to sell. We're going to sell them all at the end of the week. And in the back of my head, I'm like, no, we're fucking not going to sell them at the end of the week. Do you understand how many Xboxes we sell a week? That is an absurd amount. It's like, oh no, we're going to sell it. She had told me to get from behind the counter where I was working, the register and all that stuff, because we're going to need someone to attack the customer when they come into the store. I don't give a shit what anyone says. You know, if you ever see, they used to do this. I don't know if they still do this. They'll have a person sitting at the front of the store, so when you walk in, they're just standing there, just fucking standing there, maybe with a flyer. So when you walk in, they're just like, hey, what you doing? Where you going? What you doing? Where you going? What you buying? It's fucking annoying. But she took me away, put me in the front, and she said, this is what you're going to do. She says, you're going to talk to the people, and whatever they say, like, shit you not, she said, you're going to offer them an Xbox. I said, what? She's like, for example, if I come in for this and this and this battery, like, I'm going to talk about the benefits of the fucking Xbox. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So if someone comes in for batteries, I got to be like, oh, great. Did you hear that the Xbox One now has voice chat features? And at the end of everything I said, how can I ring you up for an Xbox today? I had to say it. How can I ring you up for an Xbox today? So whatever the conversation was, even if they own a PlayStation, even if they were just looking around, you know, even if they fucking need to use the bathroom, I got to say at the end of the conversation, how can I ring you up for an Xbox today? So that's what I did. At least at the time she was there. I pestered the fuck out of people. I pestered the goddamn shit out of people. Hard. And it's fucking annoying. It's fucking goddamn annoying. You do not sit there and pester people. It bothers me to this day how this went down. I pestered and pestered. Hey, did you get the Xbox? I'll try to, like, you know, run past it. Like, whoa, hold on now. Hold on now. Where you going? Let me tell you about the features of the Xbox. I'm like, I don't want an Xbox. I was like, great. My manager's standing 2 feet away from me. I need to tell you the features, and I need to ask you if you want to buy one. I don't give a shit what you do afterwards, but I'm going to ask you. So, man, and it's a fucking joke. So, again, I'm almost done. The day's almost over. I'm like, this is a fucking joke. Like, I am fucking so goddamn annoying. I run into the counter. I never forget this day too. This is how I knew, you know, the managers don't know the company. A person brought up a game, and this game was called Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is a Western shooter with like story elements and all that stuff, free roaming and all that. The person walks up and says, is this like Call of Duty? She says, that's exactly like Call of Duty. I fucking lost it. You were blatantly lying to your customer to make that sale. That $12 sale, you just lied to that kid. You just lied to, I can't remember if it was a mom, teenager, kid. You just lied to that person to their face, told them something it exactly wasn't. This is when I started to shift, and I really started to understand what a piece of shit this company was. Because I would hear the conference calls, I would hear how much stuff we had to push. I would just hear push. Get your associates to push. So I'm already starting to change. I'm already starting like, I really fucking don't like this job. And when the schedule comes out, and they're like, oh, what hours should we cut this week? I'm like, yo, you can cut some of my hours. That's fine. You know, go ahead and just make me come in one day, because I just started to get tired of it. You know. And again, around that same time, we had an instance, there was a manager from another store that came into our store, and I fucking hated her because of the way she would talk to our customers. It was pestering. It was literally like, do you want something? Oh yeah, you want this? Okay, here. I know you want this, but what about this? And I'll say, no, thank you. And I'll go, that's crazy. I know most people don't want it, but seriously though, it has these features. And I go, no, thank you. And I'm like, oh no, really though, like we charge it here, you can get it out of the way, you can just buy this now. I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Why are we doing this to people? Why are we doing this to customers? Why? I'm fucking for sure not gonna sit there and pester someone, especially if I ain't getting no goddamn commission. What is the point of this shit? So I just started to fucking have this attitude every time I walked into the store. Like, I don't want to be here. I'm tired of seeing these phones. I'm tired of seeing these toys and all this other stuff we're trying to sell. We're trying to put out there. because we need to generate more business. Times are shifting and business need to change. If you do not change, you will die. That is a guarantee. If you do not change, you will die in a business. That's just the way it works. That's the way time works. That's the way the internet works and all that stuff. If you do not change. So I understand them changing a little bit, but they're not doing it in the right way. They're just throwing shit out there hoping people will buy, and they're gradually losing money, and losing money. So I think around the 2-year mark, maybe like 2.5 years or something like that, we get one of the last manager I was with, and I'm already like, salty about this job because I'm constantly hearing I'm constantly seeing managers in the store all the time harassing the associates, saying they gotta do this, gotta just give more hours, when that's fucking ridiculous. You can't sit there and say, hey, if you don't sell this, you don't get hours. Well, what if no one wants to buy it? Like, I'm not a salesman. That's not my job. How fair is that to someone? So I start to get, kind of just fucking bummed out every time I step into this fucking store. And we get our last manager. Her name was Sarah. And more than my other managers, she was super, not by the books, but super GameStop. I think she overheard a conversation when I was explaining to her how shitty the job was. And you can tell she knew the job was shitty. She just didn't want to say it because she was a store manager. She didn't want to catch wind of someone saying it was shitty or something like that. Or pretty much just working it back to high managers that it was shitty. So she came in, and everything she did, everything she talked about was, a push for the job, a push. Let's just push. Let's do better. You have to do better. We're not doing good enough. You got to push. You can be great. Customer service can be, but you got to keep pushing. I'll give you hours of work if you, and here's the fucking fucked up thing about it too, is one of them said, if you don't do well, we're not going to give you hours. If we're not going to give you hours, you won't be able to work here. So it's like, look, you have to do this or you're going to get laid off. And this GameStop, GameStop relies on the gamer. They need the gamer to work there because that's all they can offer is just them being around games and to have them rent out games to them for free. They need that to survive. They've been surviving on that for years, and it shows. This is what their downfall is. So she comes in and she's telling me and her, we dislike each other. We hate each other. I'm laid back. I don't give her shit, but I don't follow her shit either. I don't do it. I don't do anything she says about selling. She's like, oh, Tony, you gotta get more enthusiasm about pushing this, push. You gotta push the pre-orders, make sure to pre-order this game. Don't let them leave the store without pre-ordering this game. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it, Sarah store. And I didn't do it. So you can call me a bad employee if you want, but it is the principle. So I got to a point where in some way I was kind of helping the job out by leaving because I wasn't putting 100% effort in. I could have actually stayed there, maybe worked a day, a week or something like that. But I was like, if someone really wants this job, why am I here? I fucking hate walking into these walls to see these people, to see this manager, to tell me to sell something that I don't need to, that's shitty. GameStop is a deceiving company. They do a lot of shady ass stuff that I can go into. I'm just not going to get too much into it, but a matter of like selling and bundling things together that you have to buy. Like, if you want to buy this, you got to buy this. They're together. We can't pull them apart. It's like, what? Let's just take my fucking ass over to Best Buy, and they will sell them to me separately and probably cheaper too. So this pertains, I'll brush up on this a little bit, and downfall in the company. This pertains a little bit to Toys R Us, because Toys R Us did not change, and they made a few mistakes. A few years ago, 10 years ago, they had been bought out. They went private. They've been bought out, but they've been bought out with, I forgot what it was called, but pretty much the money the person needed to buy the company was the money the company was in debt with. So if the company was $80 million to buy, and the person only had $50 million, He'll go to the bank and say, my collateral is this Toys R Us company. So essentially Toys R Us will be in debt. So Toys R Us has been in debt for a long time. 2004, 2005, I think it was when it was. And they've been slowly getting out of debt, but it was still just a crazy amount of debt. And if you remember correctly, when you were young, like how magical Toys R Us was, walking into Toys R Us. Like, it was just an awful word. Every kid wanted to be in Toys R Us. You go down the video game section, so many video games on the wall. You go down this bunch of Star Wars games. You go down this aisle, a bunch of Lego games. It was just the giant of toys. You know, it was a place to go for toys. But that's just the thing, the place to go for toys. What else do you need to go into a Toys R Us for? Your son has a birthday. He wants one toy. You got to do grocery shopping. What are you going to do? You going to take him to Best Buy? You going to take him to Walmart? You going to take him to Toys R Us? No, you're going to take him to Walmart. Sorry. You're going to take him to Walmart. Why? Because there's shopping there. You get your food, get your clothes. You can take him to the toy section. You're going to pick out something you like. So you're not going to leave the toy section and be like, well, this doesn't have as much toys as Toys R Us. So, just a wave of just, what's the word I'm looking for? Convenience. And a big internet push. Toys R Us does have an internet push. But when you think about it compared to Amazon, you know, if I'm looking for the hottest toys, you know, say Tickle Me Elmo, Amazon and Toys R Us are both selling it. I get all my stuff off Amazon. I have Amazon Prime. Where do you think I'm going to go? Amazon. If you go into a Toys R Us now, it's just vastly different. It's like a ghost town. It's like you can just screaming and you hear echo, and there's barely any people around, and there's barely any associates because, I mean, I'm guessing just less hours. And I walked around the Toys R Us and then like looked like it was just closed. You know, and then that falls off, the upkeep falls off. It's not as magical. If you remember correctly, they used to have a Kids R Us too, and Kids R Us was closed, but they didn't define themselves as a clothing store, so they ended up failing. And then not long after that, they launched the Babies R Us, which, funny thing is, I used to work there at the Babies R Us, and a good premise again, but it's baby stuff. That's all you have there. It's just baby stuff. You have this big, incredibly big, huge store for one thing, this baby stuff. And again, if I gotta pick stuff up, I can find on Amazon cheaper. Why do I need to drive all the way to one of these Toys R Us or Babies R Us, which are barely around? I gotta drive way out of my way, or I can go to Walmart right down the street and get everything I need. Or shit, I can do it from the comfort of my house. You change or you die. If I remember correctly, I saw something on I think it was a video I saw. I can't remember the guy. He's a like really rich guy. He does like speeches and all that stuff. He said something about like not a lot of people know that Toys R Us used to outsource their toys to Amazon, through Amazon carriers or something like that. And when they stopped doing that, people were still ordering from Amazon now. It's all these big changes and all these things that trickle down. It's a toy store. What do we need to do to survive as a toy store? We clearly can't sell everything for cheaper. What do we need to do? It honestly it could be one of those things where it's like a Blockbuster. You're doomed. You're doomed to just die unless you downsize completely to something that's manageable, small store. I think there's one open like in Alaska or Canada or something. You downsize to a small store or something like that and sell at a decent price. But with the digital wave and so many streaming, you can't imagine going to a Blockbuster anymore. You know, from the comfort of my house, I can just click. Video plays. It's cheaper. I don't have to wait on late. I don't have to get late fees or anything. I don't need a card, Blockbuster card for or anything. Click. I get that video. That's all I need to do. It's like one of those things that are doomed to die. And again, it's funny because I worked at Blockbuster too, and I'll tell you right now, it was probably my favorite job in the world. But Blockbuster 2 had I had denied I think an offer from Netflix, if I remember correctly how it was. Netflix offered, like, they wanted to pair with them, and Blockbuster's like, your shit ain't going nowhere. No one wants to do that mail stuff. And once Netflix got into the online streaming, it fucking launched. It fucking catapulted. Redbox actually did a very good job too. Redbox had a very slow start, but it catapulted too. And if you paid attention enough, Blockbuster actually tried to do the Redbox thing. They tried to do the Redbox thing to generate money, and there were Blockbuster boxes, or whatever you want to call them, everywhere, or not everywhere, and a few very far in between. And they did an okay job. But the benefit was that you take the DVD back to the store instead of put it in the mail, or back to the Blockbuster box, and the store would give you a free DVD. But it ended up terribly. DVDs weren't sent back to the warehouse, or employees weren't sending them out. Just all this crazy stuff, just bad. But it's either you change or you die. It's pretty much the whole thing. And this pertains, again, I bring up the two. I know this podcast can be Toys R Us and GameStop, but I bring up the two because GameStop is going down that path it has to change into something. Like, it's shitting out these half-ass ideas where you can pay your Cricket phone, you can buy your, toy models there now. There's like mugs, shirts, all this to generate revenue. Blockbuster did the exact same thing. They try to generate revenue by selling new games, selling like posters, selling toys and stuff like that to try to generate money. And they end up failing. So GameStop's going along that lines. They're closing stores. They closed 130 stores 6 months ago. And I think 6 months before they closed 100 stores. They're getting smaller and smaller. And GameStop was, again, big like Toys R Us. They went around. GameStop, they stomped out all the other game competition. Every single toy store, game store, they bought them out. FuncoLand, Software Incorporated, they bought EV Games. There's still some EV Games there now, but they're under the GameStop banner. They're going down that same path in the business model. You have to change or you die, but there's no guaranteed answer for you. Like, you can't say, oh, now we're going to just sell groceries and we'll make more money. It's bigger than that. That's why I'm not in business. But just to have smart ideas, you gotta change or you die. It's pretty simple. So I really hope, I don't want to see Toys R Us go. It's such a keepsake for me when I was young. I loved it, but if it's gotta go, it's gotta go, because I never would step into Toys R Us, at least as an adult. Even when my kid's born, he's all grown up, maybe I'll step into it, but the price is just higher than most places. There's no point in me going in there. Man, I talked about Toys R Us a lot. Yeah. Shit, whatever. I just wrap it up. So in all, my time at GameStop has showed me just a lot about business, a lot about a bad company, bad business model, bad management, how it leads to a downfall in a company. Because everything in GameStop is just plain bad. It's just going downhill, and I don't want to. They can do so much. Oh my god, they can do so many things. Being that big giant into games, which have grown over the years, have become a seriously $1 trillion commodity. Like, it's just insane what GameStop become. And GameStop is a big forerunner, and they're failing. Shit, I buy a lot of games at Best Buy now because it's just cheaper too. So you change or you die. Fuck you, GameStop. Okay, well, that's a long enough podcast. I'm gonna try to do. I got a really good podcast cooking. I really do, and I wanted to do it today, but it's a little bit edgy, and it might be received the wrong way. But it needs more time. I need to do a little bit more research before I open up my mind to it, because there's a lot of stuff in that one. That I've been collaborating a little bit. It's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. It's good. It's a spicy one. It's just hold on to your seats. I'll get it out there as soon as possible. But I mean, if you have any ideas, anything you want me to talk about, I'm always willing to talk about other stuff. I'm always willing to listen to opinions. I can talk about them, but I mean, it's the same shit. You know where to find me. I post this on my Facebook. I post this on my Spreaker. I post this on my YouTube channel. And fuck, man, I don't even use my goddamn Instagram and my Snapchat. Jesus Christ. It's chocolate heat on those too, man. But I'm trying to fucking push myself to do it. Sometimes I don't feel like taking a picture of my fucking dinner and posting it on Instagram. I'm just old, I guess. I'm just getting fucking old. But I'm on those too if you want to follow me. And as far as these podcasts for this year, of course I made my outros a little bit different. As where like last podcast I did, it was a quote at the end, which I think was pretty cool. So for that, I'm just gonna put quotes out there, because who doesn't like inspirational quotes? So here's one. I never dreamed about success. I work for it. And I love that too, because so many people have, I dream about this. I dream. Well, you just gotta do it, Just go out there and do it. So I don't dream about a DDR machine. I want to buy a DDR machine. So I'm gonna work on buying a DDR machine. See how that works? All right, everybody. Good luck. Shit. Good luck and good night.